everyone. My name is Adriane Tillman. I am the editor and communications manager at Emmy Action. You've probably seen my face before live streaming from Millions Missing rallies in San Francisco, or from Advocacy Day in Washington, D.C., or we've been on a Blue Jeans call together, or have worked through email. I've had the privilege to work for Emmy Action for the past 3 years and have had the opportunity to work with so many talented and wonderful people in our community. My role at Emmy Action is to help communicate out the truth about myalgic encephalomyelitis, ME, to shout it out loud and clear to the world. Day in and day out, we are telling the story of ME to our health officials and medical providers. We are talking to our legislators and the press. We are educating our family and friends. My work is to support, guide, and spearhead the work of telling our story through the many projects that we are doing. For far too long, other people have told a false and damaging narrative about ME based on ignorance and stigma. Health officials, doctors, and the media have told us that there is nothing wrong with us, that we are simply stressed out, depressed, or bored, and that it's nothing a little exercise and talk therapy won't cure. Our medical providers toss us into these catch-all buckets because they simply don't have the diagnostic tools or knowledge to tackle the complex disease that is ravaging our community. This false narrative has blocked access to a timely diagnosis, appropriate treatments, and humane care. Most horrifically, health officials have gaslighted our children into psychiatric wards, claiming that parents no longer have the agency to understand or care for their own children. Extremely ill with ME, these children have been abused and neglected under the blind belief that they could stop being ill if only they wanted to. This is not my first rodeo. When I was 26 years old, I had sudden and inexplicable symptoms. It took several months to get diagnosed, but ultimately the system worked. I went to the emergency room one night with severe neurological pain, where I was referred to a neurologist who, through blood work and an MRI, diagnosed me with an aggressive pituitary tumor. I write about this experience of getting treated for a brain tumor in an article that we published yesterday, and compare it to the utter lack of access to medical providers when I came down with sudden and inexplicable symptoms 6 years ago and ultimately was diagnosed with ME. My story is a needle in the haystack of stories about misdiagnosis and a lack of concern and curiosity within the medical field about ME. I never could have imagined that doctors could be so uninterested or dismissive of someone's report of serious, persistent health symptoms. But the fault cannot lie with each doctor alone, who has not been given the tools or expertise to tackle the problem when only 6% of medical schools teach about ME. Here at Emmy Action, we are fighting for a system-wide shift to happen in the medical field in order to equip doctors with the tools to diagnose and treat people with ME. We are fighting for our governments to invest in medical and equitable amounts of research in order to shed light on this disease and create pathways towards treatments. This is why I am so proud to work for Emmy Action, a grassroots organization that is working to tell the story of ME to the world. We are fighting for governments to create health systems that are respondent, accessible, and compassionate to people with ME. So we are asking you to please help us build this movement for people with ME so that the next generation will have timely access to doctors, treatments, and care, just like I did when I was treated for a brain tumor and ultimately restored to health. But we need resources to keep this work going. Our goal is to raise $100,000 by the end of June. We are just at over $40,000. I ask you today to make a donation to Emmy Action so that we can continue this important work for people with ME. Thank you.